Well, hello. So, I don't know how many people have religious backgrounds or were raised in households that. Okay, we are always told you get what you give, and you do. You get the energy back that you give out. But I think there's a confusion. People have created this belief around that concept of you get what you give, that it means that if you cause great suffering of a certain kind, you're going to have to pay an equivalent amount of pain in return. That's not necessarily true. By being responsible for our choices, by acknowledging our mistakes, by saying, you know what, I screwed up, and I'm going to tell people I screwed up and I'm going to own it, you have an opportunity to grow and do better. You don't have to suffer in order to make right something that in your heart feels wrong. You don't have to be a martyr or a sacrifice. That whole story that they made about Jesus to be the martyr, they did that on purpose. He didn't come here to be a martyr. He came here to open hearts. One of the things he kept telling everybody that nobody seemed to want to really truly hear is ask and you shall receive. You aren't asking an entity up high. You are asking the source of all that ever was and ever is and is right now. The embodiment, the encompassing, I don't even know what you call it, vessel that contains all energies, all potential patterns of energies, all levels, intensities, frequencies, every single possibility is in that energy. It's infinite, it's expanding, it's ever growing, just like we are. And that's why when you ask and you truly believe in it, you do receive. Especially when you focus your attention on the gratitude you have in your heart, knowing you already have what you asked for. The gratitude is the magic. It's like the fairy dust that makes you fly. Okay? Because some people feel like the choices that they have made, and trust me, if anyone understands guilt and shame for making shitty choices, I do. Feeling like I should have known better, been down that road many, many times. But the reality of it is I didn't know better. And I did what I was taught. I followed the system. I followed the programming. I knew in my heart there was a better way, right? Because you feel the conflict. And I'm sure many of you have had that, right? Like when people would tell me, oh, don't sleep with your kids, or you shouldn't coddle them so much. And in my heart, I knew it was wrong. So I ignored it and I did what I wanted to anyways. But we don't necessarily have the same courage to do that for ourselves. So a lot of times in our society, especially if you grew up in a Christian, religious-based home that really propagates that whole you have to suffer to earn your place in heaven shit, you're gonna feel like if you've done something bad, in order to forgive yourself, you have to pay for it in some way. But what if you don't? What if simply by taking responsibility, acknowledging what you've done, feeling the feelings that come with it, because trust me, that's gonna freaking probably take a lot out of you, and follow the feelings, find the lesson there, see what it is your higher self was trying to show you. I bet you there's a cycle, probably an ancestral one, probably one that's gone on through your family for generations, that you're being called to break. It's not so much that you have to pay in the sense of I'm going to make myself suffer the same pain and grief I've caused others. No, you're going to make yourself pay by pulling up your big boy panties or big girl panties and being like, okay, I fucked up, but I didn't know I could do better. I do now. So now I'm going to do better. And not only am I going to freaking do better, I'm going to work at this shit every day. And you make the commitment. And some days, working at it every day looks like crying in the bathtub. Some days, working at it every day is getting up and going for a walk and meditating. Some days, working at it every day, sharing your story with somebody else. The reason why sharing our stories are so important is because we've lost so much connection in so much of our community. We don't feel safe even in our own towns anymore, our own villages. Heck, most people don't even feel safe in their own homes, right? The security systems, the cameras, the locks, the gates, dude, it's intense. I come from ancestors who all lived on the grass in huts and teepees. We didn't need fences. We didn't need gates. And we knew if somebody did wrong, as a community, we would help them. Not punish them necessarily. Yes, if they needed to make right a wrong, they were probably made to do so. But in the end, what truly was addressed was why they felt the need to do the wrong in the first place. We don't have that society now, do we? Patriarchal systems has made sure that went up in flames. They tried to make it sound evil. They made it try to sound like witchcraft, hoodoo, voodoo. They made to make everyone feel like it's, a gateway to some kind of mental disorder. Everyone has to make their own choice what they want to believe. And I'm not making these videos to change anyone's mind. So if you're watching the video, no offense, because I want you to feel love and I want you to find peace and I want you to know that you're lovable 100% just as you are right now. But on the same hand, if my message doesn't resonate with you, that's okay with me. I actually am totally okay with that. So, do you understand? I accept you where you are right now, and I hope you can do the same for me. But that doesn't mean I'm going to dwell on it, right? We don't need to dwell on things like that. So, the same thing goes, though, for the things you've done, the things you feel like you need to pay for. You can't dwell on them. Anything you give energy to is going to persist. If you keep repeating these stories of things that you've done that you feel guilty for, those stories aren't going anywhere. They're going to stay. And as a matter of fact, you're probably going to attract more situations and stories like the one you're focusing on. So my suggestion is to own whatever it is you need to own and be like, yep, I fucked up. And make it right however in your heart feels it needs to be made right, but not at the sacrifice of your own well-being, because that's not how it's supposed to be. That's not what source energy wants. That's not what unconditional love wants. As a parent, I would never want that for my children, to see them suffer just because they did something terrible. Yes, then maybe they need to make it right. Maybe if they, painted the neighbor's car, they have to help pay off the amount of money by doing yard work. I don't know, right? Like, you make things right, but you don't have to suffer in punishment. Okay? So just keep that in mind. Be kind to yourself. You are worthy of love, which means you have to forgive yourself. And for me, forgiveness isn't saying it's okay what I did. It's not removing accountability. Forgiveness is accepting you did it and knowing now it's time to do better. Okay? Acceptance and love and compassion. Anyways, have a great day, guys. Okay, bye.